Hi there, my name is Mario, and in this segment, we are going to explore the 3 keys to successful trading. Trading is a tough business. In fact, 80% of all traders lose money. 10% just about break even, and the remaining 10% are profitable. Let's look at the remaining 10%. What are some of the secrets that these traders have that enable them to achieve consistent and profitable returns over an extended period of time? This is the segment to explore these secrets. Welcome to MSS. A successful trader is born out of a successful person. Well, if that's the case, let's first take a look at some successful people in 3 domains. Let's explore successful people in the domains of sports, business, and entertainment. This is Tiger Woods. We all know him as the world's best golfer. Tiger Woods is the current world #1 in golf. In all his 12 years as a professional golf player, Tiger Woods has spent 10 years with the #1 ranking. He is slated to become the world's first sporting billionaire with multi-million-dollar cash deals with major sponsors like Gillette and Nike. Tiger says, "I played all the other sports, but I did not have the passion." This is Lance Armstrong, the king of the Tour de France. Let's explore what is the Tour de France first. The Tour de France is one of the most grueling races in the world. It covers a length of 23 days, and riders ride all over France, covering a total distance of over 3,500 kilometers. At the peak of his career, Lance Armstrong was diagnosed with cancer. Lance details how, with his fighting spirit, he overcame cancer, and the rest, as they say, is history. Lance went on to become the world's first 7-time winner of the Tour de France. In fact, Lance conquered the Tour de France and became champion for 7 consecutive years from 1999 all the way to 2005. Lance says, "Everybody wants to know what I am on. I'm on my bike 6 hours a day." This is Donald Trump. We know him as the extravagant personality in business. Donald Trump owns many buildings all over New York and around the world. He has literally branded the name Trump and is cashing in on his popularity. He owns the Miss Universe pageant. He owns the TV hit reality series The Apprentice. As a multi-billionaire in the 80s, Donald Trump was hurt by the recession in the early 90s and fell from grace. When Donald Trump fell from grace, he had a personal loss of over $1 billion. At that time, Donald said, "Anyone who thinks that my story is anywhere near over is sadly mistaken." We all know now that Donald Trump is a billionaire all over again. This is Bill Gates, the person who started Microsoft with Paul Allen. Bill says, "We are not even close to finishing the basic dream of what the PC can be." A person who has been branded a business and a marketing genius, Bill Gates was once the world's richest man for 13 consecutive years. Let's have a look at Steven Spielberg. He is the king of the entertainment world. A person who brought us many numerous films like E.T., Jaws, Schindler's List, and Saving Private Ryan. Steven Spielberg is a multi-billionaire in the filming industry. Spielberg says, "I dream for a living." This is Oprah Winfrey. Oprah didn't have a good childhood. At the age of 9 years old, she was raped. At the age of 14, she gave birth to a stillborn child. But all these circumstances did not stop her from living her dream. Today, Oprah Winfrey is the world's first African-American female billionaire. She owns her own talk show. Oprah says, Though I'm grateful for the blessings of wealth, it hasn't changed who I am. My feet are still firmly on the ground. I'm just wearing better shoes. Are we starting to see a link between all these successful people who are literally the masters of their domain? They are at the peak of their career. I want to show you two more examples very specific to trading. This is George Soros. We all know George Soros as the famous man who shorted the British pound and made a cool $1 billion on the day that most traders will recognize as Black Wednesday. In 1992, when George Soros did that, it was famed as the greatest currency trade ever made. George Soros also founded the Quantum Fund back in 1970. A famed trader, a famous investor, and a very good philanthropist all over the world, George Soros says this: once we realize that imperfect understanding is the human condition, there is no shame in being wrong, only in failing to correct our mistakes. The final person in trading that I would like to introduce to you is this gentleman called Jim Rogers. In fact, Jim was the co-founder of the Quantum Fund with George Soros back in 1970. The two of them were so hugely successful that it was written that if an investor had put in $100,000 in the Quantum Fund in its first year in 1970 and cashed out at 1994, within that 24 years, the investor's $100,000 would have cashed out to be $150 million. Jim Rogers is a famous author with books such as Investment Biker and Hot Commodities. Jim says, the true test will not be what you learned in college, but what you used, what you learned. Are we starting to see a small pattern emerging between all these great and successful personalities? In specific to trading, I want to add this one point. What really is the benchmark of a successful trader? It is this: he's got to be profitable. But how? Among all the personalities, I want to introduce to you a statement of success. It goes like this. I call it the 6 P's. Success is the passionate, persistent, progressive pursuit of a productive purpose. We see that as a common thread in all the personalities beforehand. Now, once we truly understand what success is, we can start to evolve a successful trader from a successful person. Let's leave that for a while and go specific into trading, and we'll revisit all these theories to see how we can fuse the successful keys to help us become profitable in trading. Let's recap the 3 points in every trade. We know now that in every trade that we enter or execute, it must have these 3 points of entry, profit, and stop loss. More specific to a long trade or a buy trade, the figure looks something like this. Once we have at the entry point, we will establish a profit target above the entry point with the stop loss placed below the entry point. What is the main purpose of a stop loss? The stop loss is there for us to cut our losses and minimize our exposure in our account. The stop loss is there to protect ourselves. It is there in the event that Murphy's Law kicks in, that when it starts to trend upwards, before we are able to take a profit at our profit target, the charts then start to come down. When the charts come down and hits our stop loss, it basically tells us, hey, we were wrong in this trade, let's get out and come back again for another try. This is an example of a short trade. Notice the difference. Once we establish or execute the entry price, the profit target for a short trade is placed below the entry price. This happens because we make a profit when prices are falling. The stop loss is then placed above the entry price. Here's the key question now. How then do we determine the exact points of entry, profit, and loss? Friends, this is when I want to introduce to you the 3 golden keys called MSS. What exactly is MSS? M stands for money management, S stands for strategy, and the second S stands for state. This is what it looks like. Assuming MSS are 3 circles as such, and these 3 circles represent 100% of a trader's success. This is how it is broken down. Let's start with strategies first. Can you guess how many percent the strategies account for in 100% of a trader's success? You might be surprised to know that it accounts for only 15% of a trader's success. Now, I know some of you might be feeling a little bit uncomfortable right now. There are many of us who feel that, hey, once I have a great strategy, that's it, I'll be a millionaire. Friends, I'm not saying that strategy is not important. All I'm saying is that once we learn all the strategies that we need to learn, it still only accounts for 15% of our success. Let's take a look at money management now. Money management accounts for 30% of a trader's success. It is actually twice more important than strategy. Now, all we've got to do is to take 100 minus 15 minus 30, and we will arrive at an answer that gives us 55. What we then conclude is that state, or a person's state of mind, actually accounts for 55% of a trader's success. So this is the summary right now. Strategies are what to do. Money management is how much to do. And state is to do or not to do. That is the real question. When we understand these 3 domains and fuse them together, it gives us 100% of a trader's success.